You are on Bharat Shakti. I am Nitin Gokhale. And today our guest is Vivek Lall, Chief Executive of General Atomics, the company that is now better known in India as the one that is going to supply to the Indian Armed Forces the Predator drones, or MQ-9B as they are officially known. And of course, it's a company which is a high-end technology company which does multiple other things in defense and strategic space. One of the important companies in the US, but Vivek is someone who leads their team in various sectors, the entire team actually, and looks at various sectors. He is here in India, not too unfamiliar a face on Bharat Shakti. So Vivek, thanks for coming in again.
Thank you, Nitin.
So we'll talk about your company and your plans for India a little later, but let's look at the overall India-US defense partnership with the new administration now in Washington DC, new president or president re-elected to the White House, Donald Trump. Prime Minister Modi has already met him with his team. Where do you see the India-US defense partnership right now?
So, Nitin, as you rightly said, with the Trump 2.0, I think the relationship is on a very strong footing as far as US-India defense is concerned. The bilateral trade is over $25 billion now. There's a lot of military-to-military cooperation. I think the number of joint exercises has increased exponentially over the years that I've been observing it. And also, I think there is a new focus in terms of critical and emerging technologies that has been in the joint statement as trust. So, again, trust is an initiative that will continue to hold steam, I think, and provide for even more cooperation in the days to come. And there are various elements of trust, I think, that builds on many of the foundational agreements as well as the, in the past, the ISET initiatives.
True. In fact, if you see even GA's involvement with the Indian Armed Forces started with two Predators being leased out by the Indian Navy, and now you got orders for 31 more coming in. So where do you see this going? This order needs to be fulfilled within a certain stipulated time. So what are your plans for India going forward?
Yes, so in fact, in Trump 1.0, this whole thought process and idea took root in terms of the MQ-9Bs to India. And we're very happy that both governments have now concluded the LOA on 31 MQ-9Bs. I think along with it, there will be an MRO that will be set up. I think setting up the maintenance and repair overhaul facilities in the country will be a very important aspect of this. The two aircraft in Rajali that have been providing great support for the services, they've crossed 20,000 hours of operation, which is unprecedented if you compare it to any other unmanned or manned platform in the short span of time, and the kind of work that those two platforms are doing and performing. So I think the future looks very bright. We also have a whole set of industrial partnerships that we have initiated with Bharat Forge, with HAL, with BEL and others. And I think that will continue to grow as the program is implemented.
So this deadline for the program is some 3 years of delivery, right?
Right. So I think it's a government-to-government agreement on when the deliveries happen, but all the 31 will come in, out of which 10 in flyaway and 21 assembled here.
Oh, that's the important part, because that will give the Indian partner an experience of doing high-end, at least assembly to begin with.
Right.
There could be follow-on, I would say, industrial partnerships as far as this is concerned, because what are you doing with Bharat Forge, for instance?
Yeah, so with Bharat Forge, we're working on landing gear components, struts and so forth. And in the recently concluded Aero India, we have talked to 30, 40 companies, and those conversations continue. The various companies have different capabilities. So we intend to form an entire ecosystem in India of companies that we work with. And our team's assessment is that the capabilities on the ground are indeed outstanding. The Indian private sector has come a long ways in the last few years in terms of the pockets of excellence they have in various areas of our interest.
That's great to know. But under Trump 2.0, which we spoke about, there is also this, I would say, not a demand really, but desire on the behalf of the White House that more and more companies must invest in the United States. Do you think Indian defense companies, whether big, small, or MSMEs, are ready or have the capacity or technology to invest in US?
I think so. I think in my observation, the Indian companies are now performing at global levels, and therefore they can compete at global levels. And so, I think with U.S. being such a large market, I do feel that investments into the U.S. Are very much possible, and I think to gain global dominance in whatever sector or field they are, I think a two-way collaboration is very much essential, not only in defense, but things like critical minerals or nuclear fusion and nuclear fission. I think there's huge scope in critical technology areas for investment back into the United States.
And which will also give them a leg up because that's where I think the United States feels that it needs more and more people to come in there.
Right,
So
absolutely.
you spoke about critical minerals, very important, and fusion. So let's take one by one. Critical minerals in trust is an important element, important part of the trust initiative. What are the areas that you look at them from your company's point of view, and someone who's been in the US for such a long time in the defense and strategic space, where is it headed as far as India, US is concerned?
So I think this critical minerals is obviously a very key component of national security. And if you look at the global map, it is imperative that India and the United States collaborate on critical minerals because it feeds an ecosystem that is of essential national security interest to both countries. And so whether it is setting up our demo plants in the US and investments into those demo plants or leveraging technology and new types of innovative technology at cost points that are attractive, which again, innovative research at a good cost point is a specialty in India. All those can come together and move the ball forward because I think that is one area that may have been not looked at in great depth so far, but I think we need to peel the onion and do all we can. And I think deliverables within the calendar year 2025 has to be a priority for both governments. And I certainly think that critical minerals would be one of them.
Oh, that's wonderful. Advanced materials is something that India has also been looking for, for its some of the advanced programs that they have, some of the critical programs that they have in defense and space.
Right.
Where could your company come in here as far as, say, fusion technology is concerned or critical minerals are concerned?
Yeah, so I think the two strands for national security globally have two underlying currents. One is, as you rightly said, advanced materials, and the second is artificial intelligence. It's like electricity, both those areas. I mean, the applications are enormous, and I do feel that whether it's artificial intelligence, for example, AI pilots flying unmanned aircraft, or it is advanced materials in the nuclear field. As you know, we, for example, do a lot of work with silicon carbide. So I think there is a lot of areas in the technology building blocks, if you will, even before an end product of, let us say, a fast modular reactor or nuclear fusion that is proven at a cost point that produces electricity. There are a lot of component technologies that can be incubated in both countries.
Oh, that's good to know. You worked in space earlier, much before you came into defense. So space could be one of the key areas of collaboration?
Absolutely. And I think, India's capability is being showcased in commercial space probably in the last 3 years. And you have some great startup companies that are now launching. And I think what India provides is not only world-class quality, but also the capability to launch at a very effective cost point, which is something that I think the whole world has taken notice of.
Sure.
And so I think there's a healthy mix of course, very successful companies in the US like SpaceX, etc. And you know, we produce satellites in our company.
Right.
And I think the future is bright in space collaboration.
Indeed. So one final thought. I mean, I know it's not your area of expertise or core competence, but since you are also a member of the USIBC and I think USI SPF, a board member, so you would have a kind of critical view of what's happening between India and the US. Trade seems overall trade. I'm talking about. Could be one point where there is a lot of pain on both sides because of high tariffs and President Trump's emphasis that reciprocal tariffs will be imposed. Where is it going forward? Do you see movement there, and there has to be some adjustment on both sides?
Yes, I think so. I think for the benefit of both countries, I think there is a great path forward in terms of making the necessary adjustments and collaborations, because together I firmly feel that US and India will succeed in this and can therefore change the global trading system in a way, because it's a chance to repivot, if you will,
Okay.
in the global trading environment. And that can only benefit both these countries, because again, there are so many strengths in India, so much to leverage in the US. And so I think bottom line, coming to agreement there would of course be a huge positive inflection point.
Finally, just one, how bullish are you on India as far as the company or you yourself are concerned?
Very bullish. I think this is India is poised for great growth. I think it's really positioned rightly in terms of not just the environmental conditions and national security conditions, but also from just the demographics and the talent. And so I think collaborating with the US on many of the not only national security projects, but otherwise, can only see both countries gain. And so I think making America great again or Atmanirbhar Bharat, they're actually very complementary. And I think that's the way for the future.
That's a good point to end our conversation on. Thanks, as usual, for your insights and your thoughts on Indo-US defense cooperation to begin with and the overall relationship. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Keep watching Bharat Shakti and, of course, keep sending us feedback. You know where to reach us. Our comment section is open. Always welcome the feedback that you give us. And our social media handles are, of course, very well known to you. We await feedback from you and your comments as far as this program is concerned. But overall, continue to support Bharat Shakti, which is the platform for you to come for anything to do with defense in India. For the time being, it's goodbye.